All right, call this meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll start with the approval of the minutes of this board meeting October 31st. We've all had a chance to look at the minutes.
I was going to say, I looked at the last year's when we approved it, and we actually put numbers in there. There's no substantial, nothing substantive in here. Last year was Mr. Air reported a general fund levy of $1.158 million, and put what the levy was and what the mill rate was and all that, and whether it was up or down. And I've looked prior to that. It should probably have some more information in there other than just we just passed it.
Okay.
And I went back on the website. We don't have anything on our district page for minutes. They only go back to July. The board.
Right, because we switched.
Yeah.
Well, can't we put the other stuff on there?
We can, but I haven't gotten it from IT yet.
Okay, and we don't have anything, there's no board policies at all on there, at all. You click on it, there's nothing there.
We'll get the board policies in there.
So, but I would just suggest that we put some figures in here other than we just passed it without letting our taxpayers know what we did and how much it is.
And we can make a motion to add to approve it with the addition, with adding those in.
Okay.
You want
Yeah,
a
have you
copy of
done
last year's? There's last year's.
Thanks.
Okay, well then I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the October 31st special board meeting with the inclusion of the budget numbers and levy rates.
I
Go here.
second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the special board meeting October 31st as read, in addition to the levy rates and budget numbers. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And then we'll move on to the approval of the minutes regular board meeting November 14th.
I think we have to change the vote on that.
Yeah, we adjusted that already.
It should be 3 to 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, any other changes?
Dude, where did you get this?
I had to make a copy out of the newspaper because it's not on our website. I think they went back 4 years at least.
Okay.
All right. I'm entertaining a motion then.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to include the correction on the vote.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes regular board meeting November 14th with the correction of the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Then we'll move on to the approval of the general fund vouchers 74,064 through 74,124. Wire transfers 16,170, 168 through 16,170,207, and activity fund vouchers 2585 through 2603. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve those.
I will second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the general fund vouchers as read. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We'll move on to our public comment section. Anybody got anything they want to share with us? All right, then we'll move on to our spotlight on education.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Larson. He's agreed to come in, so I appreciate it, Mr. Larson. He's going to talk, speak on the Fab Lab grant that he's been working on and kind of update the board, or I guess present it to the board, share with you guys what's going on in the district at the high school level.
We have been discussing the opportunity of a Fab Lab, which is a fabrication lab that is designed to be open also to the public. It is kind of a worldwide organization that is supposed to all be networked together, designed to have, they call them additive and subtractive equipment. Basically, CNC equipment like mills, lathes, laser engravers, along with vinyl cutters, 3D printers, and the software that goes along with them. The WWD, Wisconsin Workforce Development, has a Fab Lab grant that they're offering with a cap of $25,000, but it is a 50-50 matching grant. We have gone out and approached a lot of businesses, made a lot of connections through the school, and tapped them for things like youth apprenticeship and stuff like that, trying to get some of our kids out into their businesses. And we have some bids in. The grant is due Thursday, so we're kind of in a mad rush. It was all done kind of fast. They didn't release it until October, I think. And with our discussions and deciding to go ahead with it, it's been kind of a rush to get it put together, but we're getting there.
So Mr. Larson has been setting up meetings with Mr. Gillis and I to go out and tour the local businesses, and just from me being new, it's been very eye-opening seeing what businesses we have and what relationships and possibilities can come from this, and just seeing a little town like Clear Lake and how these businesses have, not only are they big businesses, but we're talking international capabilities. So really neat to see what could potentially come out of this, not only for the grant itself in the district with some of the equipment that could be purchased, but also relationships that for our students, post-secondary opportunities that would really birth during their time here at high school. And Mr. Gillis and Mr. Larson have been doing really a little legwork on the grant writing portion of it. So we're very excited about the possibilities, and
the manufacturers were too. They were excited to make connections with us. They even went so far as to saying they'd be happy to send some of their experts over to help us set up the equipment to show the kids how it would be used in industry. And so it could be a pretty strong relationship builder all around.
Anything else, Mr. Larson?
I don't think so.
Do you guys have any questions?
I think we'd be able to get like some automatic cow milking machines in there.
If it's all done right, we should be able to make them.
Be able to 3D
With a
print
3D
it, right?
printer.
How big is the 3D printer that we're looking at?
We currently have a 3D printer. What the kind of the goal is to get our equipment to a point that would get us into the Fab Lab mentality, what they want us to have, so that we'd qualify for the grant. An engineering software. We got SolidWorks 2016 this year, so we're good on that end. We have a 3D printer, so we're good there. We're kind of looking at a laser engraver, will be a big one. We were talking a CNC router, but after going to the businesses in town, we kind of went away from that and said, well, we should probably go to a CNC mill, which would allow us to do the metal, which is kind of where Clear Lake is at. So those, the laser engraver, the mill, and then a vinyl cutter are kind of the three that we're shooting for. With looking at getting screen printing equipment in there, the vinyl cutter I think would be a huge bonus to have that. And we were, kind of searching for businesses' input, and they were kind of the ones that led us towards the mill.
One of the things we forgot to discuss or to add was we're also looking at trying to implementing some kind of a school store where we can sell Clear Lake logo products. And the equipment that we're looking at, we could create that stuff and sell it and take it from involving you know, the cross-curricular teams of the art department, the phys ed department. We can do purchasing, we can do invoicing, and we can do inventory controls, and all those kinds of manufacturing processes that real life does that we can simulate here, and expose kids to. So,
What kind of objects can you make with your 3D printer? Or what are you making?
It's kind of limited right now to getting the kids confident with SolidWorks. And I don't have a class right now that's dedicated to SolidWorks. We will next year. So I don't get a real long exposure with them. So they're kind of just modeling, you know, the product or the items that are in the book. That, you know, they step through the book and draw, and you know, then we shoot it over to the 3D printer and it prints it out.
Like an example of
They're
things in the
just small machine parts,
book. Okay.
very random.
And they're made out of what material?
It's a PLA plastic.
Okay.
I think with this grant too, the possibilities are truly endless, and it really is cross-curricular. I mean, you see the graphic design to engineering to you know, all different types of things that are really preparing kids for, whether it's a 4-year or a 2-year post-secondary opportunities. Really, this really, I think, will catapult the tech ed department and have our kids truly ready for just about any post-secondary opportunity coming out of that tech ed area. So very excited.
So you had mentioned, Mr. Larson, that there's a 50-50 match. So if we came up with 25, the Department of Workforce would come up with another 25. Would have 50 to. Any ideas on how we're going to raise 25?
We have been out talking to businesses, and we actually have gotten a fairly good response. And that was just, you know, tapping the bigger industry here in town. And I have, you know, every intention, if we don't make it, to branch out and, you know, hit up other businesses, that, especially ones that we know we have connections with, you know, through parents or, you know, anything else.
Okay, so you're
along with any type of fundraiser that, you know, we can come up with.
And I think businesses are interested in, Mr. Larson, you're going to have to hop in on this one because I don't remember everything, but there's a district or a business that we went to that they had spoken to another school district, and that was part of this grant, and the kids were ended up making some product for this business that was generating, I don't know how much a year that they were saving then, because their business didn't have to make this product. I'm talking very vague because I don't know at all what it was. I don't remember, but
yeah, that was when Mr. Gillis has toured that one. That was the Levistrom. And they actually have had this set up for quite a while, but he is actually producing parts for one of the local businesses.
so it's a true relationship and not just the district getting something out of it.
And he's pulling, what was it, 40,000 back into his program every year. I mean, just off of what he's producing for that business. So, I mean, that would be an ultimate goal, but I don't necessarily know we're going to get there fast. But
Greg, we talked to someone a year or so ago at a board training, either Turtle Lake or Clayton, that was doing, they had gotten a matching, one of the, either
Turtle Lake.
Turtle Lake? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and I stopped up and toured there.
Okay.
He's set up.
Yeah, he is.
It's pretty amazing.
Yep.
You walk in there and he's got a $60,000 robot that just swaps signs and holds them up to the hallway just to get the kids to walk in the door and say, look at that thing. You know, and he does. He has so much equipment that he even said, he's like, I don't know how to use it all yet. So, yeah, he's got quite the setup.
Cool.
Yeah, sounds like a good deal.
Any other questions? Mr. Larson, thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thanks
Keep
for
it
the
up.
heads up.
It's good stuff. Thank you.
Let me know when that milking machine is done.
You can have our prototype.
Now we'll move on to our new business, approval of teacher salary increase 2016 and 17.
Okay, so Right now, the CPI was currently 0.12%. I'm proposing a 1% increase rather than past practice has been to follow that CPI in the district. Right now, we have that money budgeted, and we have the ability to increase the teacher's salary for this current year 1%.
Is that the best we can do?
It's pretty much what we can do.
Dave, you went to the meetings. How was the tone at the meetings?
You mean negotiation meeting?
Yeah.
It's pretty much, this is what we're doing. I mean, they didn't really, I think they were more worried about or concerned about what we're going to come up with for retirement, things like that.
Yep. And I felt like there was some good ideas generated and good conversation and dialogue at the meeting.
I don't know if that's enough to offset the increase in healthcare, but so they're not really getting a raise.
No, same story. 5 times over since I've been on the board. But you guys talked at the meeting, and they sounded like they were going to be okay with 1%.
Yeah, I mean, there was, I felt like the very first meeting there was good conversation. I think it was, to hear the 0.12% is depressing to say the least, but I think they were happy that the 1% was coming to the board.
That we actually broke out a
Yeah.
line and went above the CPI. That means something, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It would be nice if we could do more.
agreed.
Okay. All right, well then, I'll look for a motion then to approve the teacher salary increase.
I will move to approve the teacher salary increase of 1% for the 2016-17 school year.
Go here, second.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the teacher salary increase of 1% for 16-17. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And then we'll move on to the approval of the support staff salary increase for 16-17.
So same thing, approval, or this agenda item would be a 1% increase for the support staff as well.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 1% increase for staff.
Go here, second.
I will second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the support staff salary increase of 1% for 16-17. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We'll move on to our approval of a coaching hire.
So there were 3 individuals, varsity assistant wrestling, JV assistant wrestling, and JV assistant basketball. I didn't know if you guys wanted to discuss in closed session or if you wanted to.
Well, we've got recommendations, don't we, here, Josh?
Yep.
Okay, well then I'll entertain a motion to approve our coaching hires.
Okay, so Pete Paulson is the varsity assistant wrestling coach. Ricky Anderson is the JV assistant wrestling coach, and then Josh Trepanier is the JV assistant basketball coach.
I will so move.
Any seconds?
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve our coaching hires. Pete Paulson, varsity assistant wrestling. Ricky Anderson, JV assistant wrestling. And Josh Trepanier, JV assistant basketball. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Then we'll move on to the approval of our staff resignation, our community education.
Susan Rogers has officially submitted her letter of resignation for her community education position. She's communicated to admin that her full-time employment, along with the responsibilities of the community ed coordinating position, is just too much. She's said that she's willing to stay on and help that transition be a smooth transition for whoever the next candidate is.
Okay, well then I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve. for a resignation.
A second.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the resignation of Susan Rogers. Thanks for your help, Susan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Then we'll move on to our letter of appreciation for Veterans Day.
So this is just a letter from Larry and Bonnie Meyer. So I didn't make the connection, just being new, that's a relation to one of our teaching staff here in the district. Just they were a part of the Veterans Day Memorial programs at both the elementary and the junior senior high, which I was a part of as well, and it was really a neat experience to be a part of from my role, and then also seeing it from the kids' perspective too, of what my own 2 children came home and shared with what they took out of it. It was very neat to see how much our district does to recognize those individuals on that day.
May I read it?
Yep.
It's addressed to the Clear Lake Board of Education. Recently we attended the Veterans Day program at the Clear Lake High School and were so impressed with the conduct of the student body. The attentiveness of the students is to be commended, especially during the speeches by Ivan, our grandson, and Lugas. The boys' messages showed much thought and maturity, wonderful traits for future leaders. Everyone can be proud of them. I would also be very remiss if I did not mention the band and choir. The music was great. Their blue shirts and black pants reflected their dedication and were very professional looking. The student body, speakers, and music departments all deserved a hearty well done. Sincerely, Bonnie and Larry Meyer. Nice to get letters like that.
Yeah, very cool. I'd also like to say the elementary student body did a fantastic job. That's a long time for those little bodies to sit and listen to something that takes that long. The kids did really a nice job. They were very respectful throughout, as well at the high school. But a neat presentation at both buildings.
Good. All right, then we'll move on to our discussion and approval of canceling December 26th board meeting. Is there any discussion? All right, then I will entertain a motion to approve.
I will so move.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to cancel our December 26th board meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. I hope we're all having fun that night. Now we'll move on to our superintendent notes. So there's Superintendent Mr. Joshua Ernst.
All right, so December is a lot of things happening in December in the school district. So some things that have happened. We've had elementary and high school parent-teacher conferences. I don't know if either one of you want to speak to that.
Elementary was in mid-November. We had a great turnout again. I mean, we get over 90% turnout with the scheduled conferences, and just had a really good response again. So good night.
Okay.
Good couple of nights, I should say.
Last Thursday night, we had conferences in the high school gym, and ours is arena style. It's not scheduled. And we had 220 individual conferences, so we thought it was pretty fair turnout.
So I thought both were well attended. In sports,
Can I ask a question? How many high school teachers come? Are they all required to be at that?
Well, some had coaching obligations that night. One was homesick, so.
So you get a great turnout then
Yes.
for teachers and parents.
Yeah, most of the
Yeah,
teachers
most of them
usually
are there.
there. Yeah.
So it's scheduled on a night when we have games or practices or what?
It's hard to find a night during the season.
We
when
do our
there's
best.
something going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Do our best. A lot of times it's a JV game, a JV away game or a junior high away game,
Mm-hmm.
Without violating the Wednesday night thing, it's tough to find
Yeah. So then in sports, we had both the boys basketball opener against McDonald Catholic, or the returning state champs. They played a heck of a game. I think at one point they were within 3, so that was exciting to watch. Did end up in a loss, but still an exciting game nonetheless. Then they've had wins against Shell Lake, Frederick, and Turtle Lake. Girls basketball also only has 1 loss. They've had wins against Shell Lake, Frederick, Prairie Farm, Turtle Lake and Boyceville. Wrestling is just started. I mean, they started the same time, but hasn't had as many meets. They had a loss against Boyceville and then a Barron invite, but they have stuff coming up this week. Some home
First at the Barron invite.
First at the Barron invite, yeah. And then their home opener is coming up this week. So upcoming events, we have the junior high holiday concert tonight. Wrestling home opener against Spring Valley on the 13th. Girls basketball home against Webster on the 13th. Wrestling home on the 15th against Luck Frederick, which is Thursday. We also have the Empty Bowls this Friday on the 16th, along with a doubleheader girls and boys basketball against Clayton. High school holiday concert on the 19th. Girls basketball against Bruce on the 20th. The elementary holiday concert happening on the 21st. And boys basketball home against Amory on Thursday. And then we're kicking off the holiday break on the 23rd. So a lot of upcoming events. A lot of home events as well. So.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'd say. Excellent. So then we'll move on to our future agenda items section of our meeting. Anybody got anything that we want to talk about?
I put my evaluation. I sent you guys the Google form that you guys requested, so it's more of just a kind of a survey format now for you guys to look at. I did put an option for you guys to type notes in there if you'd like. See, Mr. Peterson? Otherwise, you can go in there and click on it. So pretty easy format, the Google format. So that's the only thing I threw on there as of now.
You know, you went through our basketball and wrestling schedule and wins and losses. When I was poking around on our website, there's nothing there. When you go to athletics, there's nothing there other than the schedule of events. Don't we normally put like the schedule up so you can see how we did against each opponent and scores and like maybe a picture of the team?
We haven't for quite a while. They used to do some of that, and it was all done by a volunteer from the team, or the team kind of got together and put it together. But we haven't had anybody to do that we haven't had asked anybody to directed anybody to do that.
I mean, there's
for
nothing there
years.
about our band or our music.
Nope.
I went to the club page. It has a list of all the clubs, and that's it. There's no pictures. There's no what we do. There's nothing. I mean, we're supposed to be promoting our school. Shouldn't we be working on our website to promote our school and to where is it? It's not there.
Yeah, and we're in the process. I mean, Marcy Meyer, our AMC coordinator, has done a nice job working on the website, but she's only one person. So we are talking about, we went through at the last in-service. We went through Google Sites, creating your own website for your own organization or sport or activity. And we created one kind of common, they're called theme Google sites that everybody can use. So we're introducing that right now to the staff, so that the website really is a work in progress, like I said, and it'll be something that we're continually working on.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this. I mean, when did we upgraded the new website, 7-8 months ago, right? End of last year, and it's still.
Well, and there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, it's not going to get done overnight, and I didn't expect it to, but it is that type of conversation because I didn't want a bunch of different Google sites on our website, and then it would just, in my opinion, create kind of what we had in the past where it was a lot of different type of stuff. So we wanted one.
Well, isn't there like a template you can just use? Here's our team, here's the schedule, here's how the games we won and lost, and I mean,
yeah,
it just seems like basic stuff.
It is, but there's just so many other initiatives that we implemented a new email, the new website, so we didn't want to impose any of that on our staff because it is a lot of work. But it is something that's being talked about and being worked on.
And again, there's no board policies at all. You click on board policy, nothing. So, I mean,
Yep.
if this is supposed to be a place where people can go to find out about our school and I think it's harder to navigate than the old one that we had, especially the stuff for the school board page. You have to go like 5 different clicks before you find where the minutes and the policies are. Where before you could get there in like 2 clicks. So I don't know if we're doing that on purpose to make it difficult or.
No, I can assure you nobody's trying to make anything more difficult on purpose.
Yeah.
I personally think the website looks very nice right now. I think it's a clean looking site, and there's definitely some things that need to be improved on it, or more added to it, which we're working on.
Well, hopefully all the people that are going to be looking at these websites, you know, all the different, if it's going to be coaches doing their sport or whatever, hopefully they kind of, when they get to the point, they kind of embrace it and we can get all that stuff up there because,
Yeah.
you know, like Dave said, that's, you know, that's the kind of stuff that people are looking for when they're searching our things. So we'll look forward to it.
Well, I wonder if one, and maybe a somewhat easy, at least short-term solution would be if off the web page we could link to the Facebook, because that gets a lot of follows and people who are on there, but not everyone is. So if it went from the website to that Facebook page.
It does right now. There's
Okay,
a link.
well that would be another way because
But-
that's updated regularly.
I went to the Facebook page. There's no like team picture of our teams, or there's no list of all, you know, how we've done against our opponents, or the wrestling club. There's no pictures of the staff or the coaches or the kids or anything with the weight, you know, groups. And I mean, Facebook's just a bunch of random pictures. I mean, you scroll through it, it's random pictures.
Well, being one of the editors of the Facebook page, we put up what's submitted to us.
Oh.
It's Mr. Peterson and I and Mrs. Lavery and one other person, Mona, I think, that's actually doing it. And we submit what gets posted there. We take what's submitted to us and post as much as we can.
It's a big
So-
job. I mean, to get all that together.
That in and of itself
It's a
could
process.
keep a person busy taking pictures and running around to all the events and.
Well, I'm just saying, we, you know, I mean, here's our yearbook, and there's pictures of each team. You know, shouldn't that be on our
We had a
website?
professional social media consultant in to talk to our administrative team, and she said our Facebook page looks fabulous. She said she wouldn't do anything different than what we're doing now.
Well, I'm not talking about our Facebook page. I'm talking about our website.
We just were talking about our Facebook page, Dave.
I'm saying that there's not like, I'm looking for this kind of stuff here. Like, here's our scores of all the teams we played against. You know, I mean, we did that a few years ago when we were conference champions in football. I'd go to our website all the time and see the stats and who's doing it then.
Is
Pictures
there-
of the teams and, you know, who we play next week and.
Maybe is there a place on the WIAA where the scores get kind of posted? And
With sports are,
Yes.
So-
we
It
have
says it
a,
live every game they post wins and losses.
But where's
I'm
this
just
kind of
wondering if we
stuff?
could maybe put that link on there for now, just at least to have the
yeah, we definitely
scores
can.
and stuff.
That'd be great. Because that would do all the schools in the conference as well, the whole state. This sports covers the whole state.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the webpage needs work yet,
This
but
kind of stuff.
like I said, it takes time. You know, everybody's kind of stretched, and we've got all these new things that are going on, not to mention the regular workload.
Well, to compare it to the old website, that's years of people working on it. We've been doing it for a few months. You know, we just started training for Google Sites, which is all new rollout to our staff, and they're full-time teachers. So if they get time to work on their website, it's on their own time.
You know,
Of course, we're encouraging that with everything.
okay. Any other? Then we'll move on to our contemplated closed session then, in accordance to WSS 19.851C, considering employment compensation performance data of any public employee over which governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. We'll be discussing employment compensation and performance of an employee. I'm going to poll the board. Eddie?
Yes.
Brent?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Pete?
Yep.
David?
Yes.
We are in closed session. All right, we're back in open session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will move to adjourn.
Second.
Been properly moved and second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. We are adjourned.